This is chapter number 2, Understanding Secularism. We will talk about secularism today. Now, if you are Hindu or a Muslim or any faith, now you have gone to USA, where Christian fundamentalism is very powerful. Now, suppose that despite being a US citizen, no one is willing to give you house on rent. How will you feel? You are being discriminated on the basis of religion. You don't want this kind of treatment. You can retaliate, you will feel bad, you will feel low. So these religious practices and beliefs, when you are discriminated against these, this statement rests on the assumption that all forms of dominated or domination relation with the religion or related with the religion should end. So this is the essence of secularism. History gives us various stories, examples that there are discrimination, exclusion and persecution on the basis of religion. You might have heard about Hitler from Germany. He killed millions of Jews. But now these same Jews in the Israel state, they are doing the somewhat same thing with the Muslim and Christian minorities in their area. If you go to Saudi Arabia, that the non-Muslims, they are not allowed to build temple or church. They can't even gather in a public place of prayers. So in these examples, the members of one religious community, they either persecute or they discriminate against members of other religious communities. So the act of discrimination takes place where one religion is given official recognition by the state on the expense or at the expense of other religion. So no one would want this discrimination. Okay, so in India, we have different citizens. We cannot discriminate the citizens against the faith they have or on the grounds of their religion. So we have talked about Indian Constitution providing us fundamental rights. So we are discussing what is secularism now. So the fundamental rights, that is with the protection against the state power as well as the tyranny of the majority. The Indian Constitution also allows individuals a freedom to live by their religious beliefs, practice as they interpret these. Means they can interpret also in different way. So all these keeping in mind this idea of religious freedom for all, India has adopted the strategy of separating the power of religion and power of state. So secularism refers to this separation of religion from the state. So you have Indian state, you have religion. So religion can be Hindu basically Sanatan Dharma, and Islam and Judaism, Christianity. There are so many. But Indian state, it is thought that the separation, there has to be clear separation between the state, that is the government, and the Indian state, or anything which is called the part of or machinery of state. It has to be kept away from the religion. So why it is important to separate the religion from the state? What can happen here is, see, I'll just give you an example, then you'll understand. We have, say, a majority, say in India, majority is the Hindu Dharma, Hindu following population. The minorities are Muslims, the Christians, the Buddhists, etc. Now this can happen that always the state, if it is promoting certain religion or the majority are having one religion, they will always try, there is always a possibility that these religious minorities are, you can say, they are stopped, they are discriminated, they are marginalized on the basis of religion, and these, they get all the powers also, and they get all the benefits also. So this is very important to separate the religion from the state. The other reason is that this, from the state in democratic societies, we also need to protect the freedom of individual to exit from their religion, embrace another religion, or have the freedom to interpret. So if someone wants to change their religion, someone wants to adopt some other religion, or someone wants to interpret the religion in their own terms, this is also possible. For example, I will give you an idea that untouchability was there. Okay. Now, if the people from this community only, they might not have thought that untouchability is bad, or the sati pratha is bad. Raja Ramon Rai, he was following Hindu Dharma, but he thought that this is not the good one. This is not the good thing. This is actually the disbelief. So they can interpret also in their own way. They can have a resistance from their own fellow members, but the state says that the interpretation of Hinduism or interpretation of their own religion is allowed. So why is what is Indian secularism? See, the Indian constitution mandates the Indian state to be secular. What it means, according to the constitution, only a secular state can realize its objective in order to ensure certain things. First, that one religious community does not dominate another. Then, some members do not dominate other members of the same religious community. And the state does not enforce any particular religion, nor take away the religious freedom of individuals. That is, see, first, one religious community, say it's a majority community and there is a smaller community. The religious community does not dominate this one. Then there can be one community inside this community. So some members do not dominate the other members of the same. These are minority. That means the minority in the majority, that they are following the same belief. But the members do not dominate the other members of the same religious community. And state cannot say that follow this religion. State cannot say do not follow this religion. So there are certain things how Indian state works, because there can be domination. So first is, I'll give you one by one. First is that state distance itself from religion. That means the Indian state is not ruled by a religious group, nor does it support any religion. So government spaces like the law courts, like the police station, like these government schools, they are not supposed, or the offices, government offices, they are not supposed to display or promote any one religion. So one day what happened, this is a government high school, this is a proper government school. So some students said that we are having next month we have some big religious festival, let us celebrate it. But the teacher said no, this is a government school, everyone comes here, you can go to your house, because religion is your personal belief, then you can just go and celebrate. But we will not allow, or this is not good to do this in the school, because this is a government school. But see, government school cannot do anything which support or promote any religion or display any religion. But the private school they can follow any religion, they can they can allow any religion, or some prayers also can go on. So this rules does not apply to private school, but in government school they cannot promote any one religion either in their morning prayers or through religious celebration. So first was that total separation, or what we learned was, the first was strategy of distancing itself from religion. But the second one is, the second way in which Indian secularism works is to prevent these dominations through a strategy of non-interference. So second is non-interference. This means that in order to respect the sentiments of all religions and not interfere with the religious practices, the state makes certain exemptions for particular religious communities. Like we have a person, he's wearing helmet, but the Singh or the Sikh, the person is Sikh, and in his belief, in his religion, the pagadi or turban is central to Sikh religious practice. So the government has given leverage, an exception of the law, that if you are Sikh, then it is not necessary for you to wear helmet. So this is the second thing government is doing. The third thing in Indian secularism is how it works to prevent the domination listed earlier, by the strategy of intervention. So you will just say that this is contradiction. One time you are saying that government is keeping distance from religion, and other time you are saying that the government will intervene also. I'll give you an example. Untouchability was there. So the member of the same religion, that is the upper caste Hindu, they dominate. The untouchability was there and the caste system was there. So the lower caste were facing discrimination. Now the state has to intervene. If state is not intervening or it doesn't intervene, then this untouchability would have been right now also. Because it is this kind of discrimination is violating the fundamental rights of lower caste, who are actually the citizens of our country only. So this is how law ensures that the equality has to be maintained. So the religion-based personal laws of community, the state may have to intervene here. Then also support can be given by the government. For example, certain religious communities can set up their own school, colleges. It can give some financial aid to them or on non-preferential basis. So we will talk about how our Indian secularism is different from the United States, say, some other democratic country like United States. Here we have an example that there is in US, in the morning, government schools, they recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and in this there is a word called under God. But it was established more than 60 years ago that the government school students, they are not required to recite the pledge if it conflicts with their religious belief. That means they are not forced to say under God. They are exempted. So this is how it goes in US. But if in our country there is something going on, then government can see, and the other people like the civil society can also see that if it is going wrong, or it is just biased towards one religion, then it can be changed. So there are certain objectives are similar. That in the secular democratic countries, the government has to be separate and the religion has to be separate. The First Amendment of US Constitution prohibits the legislature from making laws respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise of religion. So what does it mean? Establishment is that legislator cannot declare any religion as the official religion of the country, and they are not giving any preference to one religion. So in USA, the separation between state and religion means that neither the state nor the religion can interfere in the matters of one another. So let me tell you again that in US, the state and religion cannot interfere in state cannot interfere in religion. But in Indian secularism, it differs, because Indian state differs from the dominant understanding of secularism which is practiced in US. Why? Because there is a strict separation between religion and state in America, but in India, the state can interfere in the religious affairs. So in India, state and religion, so state can interfere in the religion. So Indian Constitution, if we say we have already abolished the untouchability, that is how the constitution intervened, the government intervened, the state intervened, and this is how we got rid of the untouchability, sati pratha. There are so many things which are better now. So Indian state is secular, works in different ways to prevent the religious domination. The Indian constitution guarantees the fundamental right that are based on these secular principle also, but still there are certain things going on, violations are there. But we need to tell people, we need to make we must understand that if we are majority, like if you are a majority, like if you are elder brother and you have a younger brother, now it is your responsibility to take care of the younger brother. If he is facing any problem, you will understand him, you will try to help him. But if this younger, you on the basis of, say, you are elder, that is you are in majority, and the younger in minority or following some other thoughts or faith, then you cannot just discriminate or marginalize, or you do something unjustified to him. So this is always the responsibility of the majority to take care of the minority, and this is the crux of the secularism. I'll just give you an example. In February 2004, what happened? France passed a law banning students from wearing any conspicuous religious or political sign or symbols like the Islamic headscarf, the Jewish skull cap, or the Christian crosses. But there were a lot of resistance from the immigrants, because they have come from Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco. Those were the colonies of France only. So the France actually witnessed a labor scarcity. So sometimes, because these were the labors only, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, they come to France to work. But because they were not allowed to follow their beliefs, they just went away, or they don't come to France. Only few people would come. So the labor crisis was there. So sometimes you make law and you end up with certain problems. So this is all about secularism. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.